Type 2, the nurturing supporter. They're thoughtful, generous, demonstrative, people-pleasing, and possessive. They prioritize relationships and ensure that people around them feel well cared for and loved. They take a genuine interest in others and come alongside people to serve and help and advise and nurture them. But the depth of need and suffering in our world is especially burdensome to the twos because they naturally feel and take in all of the people's feelings around them. It's like they have antenna that literally picks it up. It's a radar system. And they feel it is their job to alleviate the pain that people are experiencing, their hurt, their struggles. They feel it's up to them, which, as you can imagine, feels like this constant responsibility and burden. And while they are selfless, loving, and caring, they can also be dependent, prideful, and hostile. Now remember, everything about a type hinges on the 4 core motivations. So the type 2's core fear is the fear of being rejected, unwanted, thought of as worthless, needy, insignificant, dispensable, and unworthy of being loved. They desire to be appreciated, loved, and wanted, but they struggle with the core weakness of pride. And this is where they deny their own needs and emotions and use those amazing antennae to understand and have intuition to discover the feelings and the needs of others. And then they confidently insert their helpful support in hopes that others will say how grateful they are for their thoughtful and kind care. Now, the type 2's core longing is to hear, "You are wanted and loved." So an overview of the type 2 is that they seek satisfaction by trying to help others because deep down, they struggle to believe that they are loved and wanted unconditionally. They think that they must support and help others to receive the love they desperately want. Now, when they try to fulfill their core longing to be loved and appreciated and wanted, they become people-pleasing and possessive. But they also are going to insert themselves into the lives of others and can violate boundaries. And in their pride, they believe that they know what others need and that they need to take their advice. Type 2's do not adequately deal with their own needs and emotions. They believe that if they are to recognize their needs emotionally, relationally, and physically, that this will threaten their relationships with others because they think, oh, others are going to see me as being selfish and self-focused. So they hide these needs from others and even themselves. This allows the type 2 to focus solely on other people and to keep themselves distracted from what is going on inside them and their body. Therefore, they struggle with self-care and rest. For any type 2, we want them to know, just like when we're on an airplane, you gotta put your own mask on first in order to help the other person. And for the type 2, we need them to take good care of themselves so that they can truly and selflessly help others from the best place of their heart, which is truly beautiful. Well, let's talk about type 2s and their relationships. So you can probably tell by now that type 2s focus most of their energy on their relationships. They are generous with their time and their attention and truly want their loved ones to be well cared for and happy. But when type 2s themselves aren't doing well, they can be passive-aggressive, irritable, demanding, and direct their unsolicited advice to others. Now, when they've overextended themselves for others, they can channel their hurt, their anger, and their exhaustion through manipulating and complaining. They're so exhausted. I'm so busy. Feel very martyr-like. And it is especially painful and confusing to them to hear that loved ones sometimes feel that they're suffocated by their helpfulness. In response, the type 2 is like, what? I'm just trying to be helpful. Well, in response, an unhealthy 2 can double down their efforts to win people over with their people-pleasing, their flattery, and acts of service. And you might see that they're going to sell themselves out, compromise what's important to them for the affection and the appreciation of others. And you might see that 2s that aren't doing well will hover and not give people the adequate space that they're asking for in fear of being abandoned or being dispensable and not wanted and loved. They might become possessive and jealous of others and expect people to read their mind and know what their needs are and to actually come through for them. And when others don't, they feel really hurt because it is a superpower they have for others. But here's the good news. When a type 2 becomes aware of their inner world, they can learn to practice good self-care, and they can prioritize their own needs without feeling guilty because they have established healthy boundaries. From this place of health, the type 2s are no longer running on empty and exhausted and frustrated. They're no longer manipulating. They can truly now care for others. They're pouring from the abundance of what's within. They are patient, empathetic, great listeners who ask good questions instead of quickly inserting their advice. And they take responsibility for their own actions, recognizing that they struggle in relationships too, and it's okay to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. In fact, type 2s at their best are sincere, humble, selfless, warm-hearted, caring, and generous. They give unconditional love first to themselves and then to others. They interpret the behavior of others charitably, emphasizing the good in other people. They maintain a generous approach to life because they're taking care of their own needs, which means that they can give to others without strings attached. And they maintain appropriate relationship boundaries by saying no when it's not their responsibility, but also not inserting themselves when their help isn't wanted. Now, when type 2s know that they are wanted and loved apart from what they do, they can hold their relationships with open arms. They can bless others with a selfless generosity, encouragement, and redemptive kindness. And this is what the world desperately needs. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this introduction of Enneagram Type 2s, the nurturing supporters. And as I mentioned in the previous video, that the Enneagram is like an onion. It has many layers and aha moments for you to experience and discover. Now, we just represented a little bit here for the Type 2, and the Type 2 we represent as a teal shade. Think of it as you're wearing teal lenses. And in order for you to understand your perspective and why you think, feel, and behave in particular ways, we hope that you'll check out our courses on exploring you as an Enneagram Type 2 and your Enneagram Internal Profile course, where you can dive deeper into understanding who you are as an Enneagram Type 2. These courses are self-coaching experiences that will literally fast-track your ability to grow and understand your inner world in amazing ways. I hope that you'll join us there.